Hi there, I'm Hadi, and today I'm going to show you how you can optimize your wood gasification stove, just like this one. This is a stove that I bought from AliExpress for 15 bucks, so it's a standard camping stove. And to do that, I'm going to use a biscuit can, just an ordinary biscuit can. And I am going to show you what I've done with the biscuit can so it'll work to optimize your camping stove. First of all, I'm going to show you how to arrange the fuel inside the stove. So the first thing that you have to make sure in order to get an optimum use of your gasification stove is the way you organize your fuel. Now, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos out there that just pile all the fuels inside until they're like overloaded. But really what you have to do is never ever exceed this gasification holes, because you have to be under that, because all the air must not be obstructed. This is where all the heat will come out, and that's the core of the gasification. And I also put a bit of paper there to speed up the priming. And also I'm going to use a bit of vegetable oil, cooking oil. Well, it's preferably for you to use grease, just a used cooking oil, but since I haven't been frying anything for a long time, I'm just going to use a brand new one. Yeah, that'll do. And so you get this covered up and you're done with your stove. Now, there's one part to get to optimize your stove. And the second is, I've used this biscuit can, and what I've done with it is I put lots of holes underneath it, just as big as the bottom side of the stove. So what these holes do is it's going to feed the fire and it's in its early stage. So when it's not primed yet, we put it a bit elevated, so the air will go from underneath and up, but it's a cold air. And when it's primed, you put it somewhere else that is flat, so the air will have nowhere, so the source of the air will be from the sides, from the sides of the can, and it will be heated. So the primary air that goes from here will already be preheated. The primary is preheated and the secondary is extra heated. So it's super hot air that is going to the burning chamber, and that is making the gasification super efficient. So let me just put this stove inside the can. Now that I've placed it inside the can, you can see that there's just a small gap between the stove and the biscuit can, and this is enough to allow the air to be sucked in. The cold air from around the can will be sucked in, and preheat on the way from the top to the bottom. It'll be preheated and then come up as a primary burner, and it'll be preheated, and the secondary, which is from the sides, which will come from the gas holes, will be extra heated. So to start it, put it somewhere elevated so the air can come from the beneath. Put it somewhere elevated, and I'm going to use a bit of paper just to speed up the ignition and priming. I hope you can see this. just half page paper, light it up. Make sure it's big, put it in. You might want to add more vegetable oil to it. Oh, huh. It's still there. Okay. Lots of smoke, but it's starting to burn. It's priming. Put some more paper just to get it quickly. Hope this ignites everything. Oh well. Okay, I think I've managed to ignite it. It's a bit hard to get the fire going with one hand and one hand holding out my phone. So it's a fairly big fire, but it's not primed yet. It's not primed yet. You know, it's primed when you got the fires coming out from the gas holes inside of the stove. I'm gonna pause it a bit. Okay, it has been around 2 minutes, and you can see there's a stream of air coming out of that hole right over there. That shows that the gasification is already happening, though it's not as big as I hope, but it's already gasifying and it's already quite hot. No, it's not hot yet. Gasification is almost ready. I'm gonna wait for around another minute. When the fire is big enough, gonna put it down from the sticks and onto the wall. Besides optimizing the burn by preheating the air from the sides, this can also act as a wind barrier. So I'm at the 9th floor right now, in the balcony of 9th floor, and it's quite windy. And I've tried lighting up my stove without this can. It just keeps on getting off. But with this can, everything's just easier. And when you're done with it, you just get the lid off and cover the can, and you get your fire extinguished. It's better to turn off the fire that way than to use water or anything, because it'll damage the stove. Okay, that's given another 1 or 2 minutes to get primed. Okay, the fire's pretty big right now, and I think it's safe to say that the gasification's pretty established. The fire's coming out. Oh, don't burn my phone. The fire's coming out of all the holes. So it's time to get the stove down. It's not that hot, really. Oh, let me get this off. Oops. Now that you've put it down, the air, there are no way for the air to get in except from the sides, which will get preheated and then go to the main chamber. So this is how I optimize my gasification stove using a biscuit can. It really comes in handy. I would like to do a boil test, but I guess it'll be too long. But I done the boil test last night, and it took me around 15 minutes, around 15 to 16 minutes to boil a liter of water to a really good rolling boil. And the fire will stay alive with that amount of fuel for around 25 minutes. Once it's dying off, you can always add in more fuel. Okay, I think, oh, it's getting bigger now. Really, once the stove is hot, then it'll transfer the heat to the outer layer of the biscuit can, and that in turn will heat up also the air intake from the sides. That will give extra heat to the primary burner and extra heat for the secondary burner. Okay. So that's how I do it. Oh yeah, I would like also to add that by putting something on top of the stove, once you got the flame primed, it really accelerates the heating of the air inside, because to get inside it'll have to go underneath the pan or whatever it is that you put on top of it, and it stabilizes the flame also. You can see instantly that when I put something on top of the stove, the flame becomes prettier. It's bigger, it's more stable, and it's just like having a gas stove, except it's red or yellow flame. See, the flame just got bigger instantly. Let me get this off and let's see. Let me try to get this off. Whoa, hot, really hot. Oh! Okay, there you have it. Those are the flames. Beautiful flame. And absolutely no smoke. No smoke at all. The gasification process, I guess it's really 100%. Well, yeah, it's hot. It's quite hot. And it's going to be hotter and hotter, and the hotter the better. So, guess that's it. Hope you guys can try it out at home or at camping or whatever. When you're done with everything, get the top lid off and put the can, when you're done with everything, just get this thing off, get it off, and put the lid on. And there you have fire extinguisher. But I don't want to extinguish it just yet. Okay? That's how I use my that's how I use my biscuit can. Hope you can try it. Bye.